Welcome in, Spreads and Subs Daily Gambling Show. We are live. Wait for everybody to pop in before we start this one off. Happy Tuesday. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing? Stoner, what's up, man? Give it a couple more seconds here and then we will start it off. Alrighty, alrighty. So, got some stuff to address. Yesterday was not good at all. Definitely our worst day on the show. Went 0-3 in our best bets. Cannot have that happen again. Luckily, we were positive last week, so we have some wiggle room to have some off days. But today we absolutely have to respond with a 2-1 or a 3-0 day. We cannot suffer. Hello here from the group of Jam. What's up, bro? What's up? Yeah, we cannot go 0-3 again, as we know. Did a lot of research, spent a couple hours going through the picks today, hoping that we can bounce back from yesterday. But as we know, the gambling game takes no prisoners, and we are not, uh, how do I put it, immune to having another bad day. But yesterday we went 3-3 on NBA, so we went solid on NBA. NHL, where we have struggled for the past couple weeks now, 0-3 in NHL. And two of our best bets were in NHL. We had what was it? The Rangers money line and the Hurricanes Rangers over 5.5. The over 5.5 missed by a half point. That sucks. Rangers blew a lead. Had 1-0 for a lot of that game. Blew it. And what was our third one was Josh Giddey over 2.5 assists. Giddey had 2 assists. So we had a couple half point losses yesterday, a couple bad beats, but we look to bounce back today. As always, the show is brought to you by Bet Openly, the best odds in the game. Sign up for Bet Openly. Click the link in the description on YouTube. Send a screenshot after you deposit $50 or more. DM it to me on Twitter at JReedNBA. That's JREIDNBA on Twitter. And I'll be able to enter you into a giveaway for some cash. So don't be afraid to do that. That is, once again, Twitter at JREIDNBA. So let's get it going today. First pick of the 10. Anybody that's new here, I'll state it again. I give 10 picks on the day. I cut it down to 3. Those are our best bets. On YouTube, you can see in the top corner so far on the show, we're 7 episodes in, 8 and 10 on best bets. Or, sorry, 6 episodes in. This is number 7. We're 8 and 10 on best bets. And this week, only yesterday, we were 0-3. So let's start it off today with the first pick of the day. Knicks minus 2.5. They're 4-1 at home in the playoffs this year. They're back in MSG in a big 2-2. We know how important those 2-2 games are in the NBA playoffs, and they get this one at home where they're 4-1. They got blown out in Game 4. I just do not see that happening again. This Tibbs coach teams just do not fold like that multiple games in a row, and I was shocked to see them get blown out in Game 4. So I expect them to, at the very least, be competitive today, and I do think they win this game. Last game was the first time they have not bounced back from an L in the playoffs. They are due. I do not see a world where they lose 3 in a row, and if they do win, I see them winning by more than 3 points. So that is my first bet for the NBA. As always, 6 NBA bets today. Second one, TJ McConnell, under 10.5 points. This hit in 7 of the 10 playoff games for him. He has been good at times in the playoffs, but he has not been very efficient at other times, and I expect him to have one of those nights tonight. I expect this to be a tough night for the Pacers scorers in general. The Knicks have to tighten it up on defense to win the series. That's what they did in the first 2 games at home. They were great on defense against the Pacers. I expect that trend to continue, and for TJ McConnell to be under 10.5 points on the game. He's had a lot of 7-point games, 8-point games, 9-point games this playoffs. I expect him to be under that range, and once again, he's been under 10.5 in 7 of the 10 playoff games this season. Moving on here to my third NBA bet of the day. Obi Toppin over 1.5 assists. We're back to the well on Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin's been good to us this playoff so far. He did hit the over 1.5 assists that we bet at one point last week. I think it might have been Tuesday actually as well, but Tuesday or Wednesday, he hit over 1.5 assists. That was one of our best bets as well that day. He's been very good to us. This is hitting 5 of his last 6 games. As I stated last week with the Obi Toppin situation, he'll go 10 games without getting an assist and then go 20 where he gets 2, 3, 4 assists every game. So he's been very, very streaky. But in the playoffs so far, especially this series, he's been great in transition. It's hit, like I said, in 5 of the last 6 games. I expect Obi Toppin to continue to be good in transition and get it done for this team. Moving on here to my fourth NBA pick. Moving on to the Nuggets Timberwolves game. This series, as I said on the last episode, just completely, I gave up completely on the Nuggets, as most people did, and a lot of people in mainstream media did. Completely gave up on the Nuggets, but I expect the Nuggets to be able to continue what they've done the past couple games here now and be very productive on the offensive end and lock in more on the defensive end. They were really getting swarmed in that first 2 games of the series at home. They seem to have no answers for this Timberwolves defense. And then these past 2, they've played really, really well. When I look at the NBA right now, I see the Celtics and the Nuggets as still the 2 best teams in the playoffs remaining. The Nuggets just looked absolutely smothered by this Minnesota defense. But the success that they've had over the past couple games gives me a lot of confidence in this team as a whole. I think this Nuggets team is the best team in the West. You just cannot let them get comfortable. They were very, very uncomfortable in those first 2 games of this series. Um, I do not expect them to continue to be uncomfortable as they were super, super comfortable and they were able to do what they wanted exactly on offense in the past 2 games in Minnesota. They were able to play through Jokic, which they were not able to do in the first 2 games. They figured it out. They know what they're doing now. I got the Nuggets minus 4.5, covering that spread and going up 3-2 in this series. As we have a couple 2-2 series now. I love that NBA playoffs, outside of that 3-1 Celtics lead over the Cavs, the rest of them are all 2-2 series. So we got a very interesting second round of the playoffs, as we expected when we saw all the matchups early on here. Moving on here to fifth NBA pick. Denver team total over 104.5 for many of the same reasons I gave for their spread. Their offense has just really been able to adjust to this defense, who was, after those first 2 games, people were saying, is this the best defense we've seen in 20 years? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the Nuggets have figured out some sort of success on it and have led for the majority of these past 2 games. Jamal Murray's been a lot better. He was horrible in those first 2 games. The winner in every single game in this series was over 106 points, and that would cover this 104.5, obviously. Because we are picking Denver to win, this is an easy bet to pair with it. I know we got yesterday by going Rangers money line and Rangers over, but I think this is a much more safe bet here. This series is trending more and more offensive as it goes on. Both of these teams covered the 104.5 in Game 4 in that Minnesota win, or sorry, in the Denver win, excuse me. So I expect Denver to be able to cover it for a third game in a row at 104.5. Moving on here, last NBA bet of the day. Aaron Gordon over 13.5 points. He's covered this in 3 of the 4 games this series, including 3 straight games. The only game he did not cover was game 1, of course. He's covered this in 5 of his 9 playoff games this year, and I've spoken a lot about this on this show as well as my podcast with my 2 friends at Engage8, which is also on the Hashmark YouTube. So if you want to check that out, that is there as well. We are recording another episode today, so that will be up probably tomorrow. The Nuggets need him or Michael Porter Jr. to play good every single game to win this series. Those are the 2 role players. I know the thing is role players play better at home. That has not been the case this series, but excuse me, I expected to go back to the norm here. And because he's been the guy of him and MPJ to play good, we're going to ride with him over 13.5. Aaron Gordon. All right. So that is it for the NBA bets here. I'll run over those one more time for everybody on TikTok. Everybody on YouTube, you can see it in the top right corner of your screen here. But everybody on TikTok, it is Knicks minus 2.5. TJ McConnell under 10.5 points. Obi Toppin over 1.5 assists. Nuggets minus 4.5. Denver team total over 104.5. And Aaron Gordon over 13.5. Moving on here to, I got 3 MLB bets, or no, I got four MLB bets. I decided to go no NHL today after how we've been pretty unsuccessful as of recent in NHL, but we'll maybe try to bounce back tomorrow there. But four MLB bets today. First one, Royals and Mariners over 7.5. This is at a plus 105 right now. Waka is Kansas City's worst pitcher. We've been taking most of the game overs when he's been in the game pitching for the Royals this season. Gilbert for the Mariners has been solid, but KC's been scoring a decent amount of runs too over the past couple weeks or so. Mariners, their offense has been pretty hot, scoring over 5 runs a game over the past seven. That would put the Royals in a spot where they just had to get two or three. I think we see this cover very easily for the Royals Mariners at over 7.5. Moving on here to our second of the four MLB bets. We got the Dodgers and the Giants over 8.5 runs. It's a win on the mound for the Giants. He's got a mid-5 ERA this season. Has not been good for the Dodgers. Stone is on the mound. He's been solid for them, mid-3s ERA, but nothing too special on the mound there for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are averaging 5 runs per game over the last 11 games. We know they're a lethal offense. Their playmakers are really getting hot, and Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani. So I expect them to score a ton of runs. And with Stone being on the mound, the Giants should be able to get a few, at least in this game, to cover that 8.5 for us. But all right, moving on here to scroll way too far down there. Nationals money line in the first game. They play a doubleheader against the Sox today. So in game one, I have the Nationals money line. I'm going to check that one more time just so I don't mess up on who is pitching in these two games. I always get confused on these doubleheaders, so give me 2 seconds to check this. Yes, it is game one, which is at 1:40 p.m. Pacific time, and that is 3:40 Central and 4:40 Eastern. Game one of this series, I have the Nationals money line. I know the Sox have been playing well, but the Nats got their ace on the mound in Williams, and he is 4 sub 2 ERA. When he's in the game, most of the time they're going to be able to take a W as a team. With the Nats, I feel like they've been playing. I mean, they've been playing average ball as of late, but their bats just seem to be hotter whenever they have one of their better starters on the mound. Their top starters all have pretty good records on the season, and I expect them to continue that here. And I'm happy it's game one. I like to take the game ones over the game twos. In most of these scenarios, the game twos are more unpredictable. So Nationals money line in game one with Williams on the mound. And my last bet of the day here, Cubs and Braves under 7.5 total runs. Both these teams have great pitchers on the mound. Jameson Taillon is 3-0 with a low 1 ERA. He's been absolutely phenomenal for the Cubs. On the other side, Chris Sale, he's finally getting into a rhythm, being able to stay healthy, and he's been phenomenal for the Braves. He's 5-1 with a sub 3 ERA on the season. My biggest worry for the Cubs is their bullpen. As we know, it has not been great. But when they have a guy like Taillon or Manga on the mound, they should not have to have as many bullpen innings. Hopefully, I don't expect them to have a ton this game if they can limit the Braves to low runs, which means we should have low runs as a complete game. Hey, Blow, I see you. I see you giving the likes. I appreciate it, of course. But yeah, I got Cubs Braves under 7.5 here. So those are my 10 bets for the day. Time to cut it down to three. I forgot the preface at the top here for TikTok and for YouTube. If it is a little bit laggy in the visual, the audio should be good, but if it's a little bit laggy in the visual, I am on hotel Wi-Fi right now. I will be for the next couple days, but once we get back on Friday, I'll be back on my regular Wi-Fi and everything should be a-okay. But moving on here to my three best bets. As always, I pick these live on the show. I do not pick these prior. I picked the 10 prior, but then I cut it down to three live on the show. We're going to rock with Obi Toppin over 1.5 assists. This was our best bet last time we took Obi Toppin's over on assists, and it hit. He's very streaky, but he's on a hot streak right now. He's been great in transition in this whole series. Really been able to dish it out in transition, not being too selfish. So I'm taking Obi Toppin over 1.5 assists as my first best bet. Let's move on to some baseball here. I'm going to go with, let's see. I'm going to go with Royals Mariners over 7.5 plus 105 is our second best bet. Two bad pitchers on the mound. It's very simple to just look at ERAs, add them up. and see if it's over the total to take them. But like I said, we've been riding with whenever Waka's on the mound, taking the over for the game. Pro tripping on us for no reason. It's I'm in a hotel. I'm on vacation. That's why the sunglasses are on. They're coming off. They're coming off when we get back to the crib. But um, yeah, I'm gonna keep taking what's been benefiting us so far this season with the Obi Toppin over 1.5 assists and Waka, whenever he's on the mound for KC, taking that game over and getting it as low as 7.5 at plus money. I think is just an absolute steal at plus 105 for the Royals Mariners. So that is my second best bet, and my third one is going to be Nationals money line in Game One of this series. Um, Whenever Williams is on the mound, they seem to win most of these games. 4-0, like I said, on the season with a sub 2 ERA. So I'm pretty confident that he will be able to pitch well and that the Nationals bats will get hot when he's on the mound, as they have been all season so far. There's a lot of teams out there that when their ace is on the mound, they don't provide them runs, i.e., Jacob DeGrom in his Mets years. But that has not been the case for the Nationals this season. They've been able to get hot when they needed to, and I expect them to continue that. So we'll go over my three best bets one more time before we get you out of here. Obi Toppin over 1.5 assists. Royals Mariners over 7.5 at plus 100, and Nationals money line in Game One of their doubleheader versus the Sox today. So those are our three best bets. We hope to bounce back after a pretty tough day yesterday. It would greatly benefit us to have a 2-1 or 3-0 day today to get this week back to where it needs to be. But once again, thank you to Bet Openly for sponsoring the show. Click the link in the description on YouTube for Bet Openly. And when you deposit $50, DM it take a screenshot and DM it to me on Twitter at JReedNBA. That's JREIDNBA on Twitter, and I will be able to get you into a giveaway for some cash. We will be back tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, with 10 more bets, cutting it down to 3 more best bets on the day for y'all. I do have a flight on Thursday, so the options for Thursday are either going to be a super early show before I take off on Thursday morning, or a super late show when I land and get back home, or no show at all on Thursday. I will be able to update you guys on that during tomorrow's show when I could see the logistics of if I'm going to be able to get it done or not. But happy gambling to everybody. Take as many or as little of these bets as you want to.